Hello ninjas and ninjas, my name's Tim Cameron Kitchen, head ninja at Exposure Ninja and best-selling digital marketing author. Welcome to Ask Ninja. In this week's show, we're talking about homepage sliders. How many homepage sliders should I have? And we're also talking about the very touchy subject of should I start a business based on my passion? Okay, so you know what a homepage slider is, right? You visit a website and you see that big section right in the middle that kind of scrolls through and there's different messages and different pictures on. This question comes from Tom and he asks, how many homepage sliders should I have? Well, I've got a pretty strange answer for a web development company here who makes money from designing homepage sliders. The answer is just one, right? If you have 5 homepage sliders, you're relying on someone sitting there watching these 5 sliders scroll through. You might have some really important information on the first slider. By the time you get to the 5th slider, the information is pretty irrelevant, right? It's not really going to be relevant to most people. The thing is, when someone visits your website, they're not just going to open the page and just sit there passively watching these things pass their eyes, reading every one. When someone visits that page, they're looking around immediately. They're looking at your content, they're looking at different areas, they're looking through the menu. They're not even focused on what that slider is doing. So if you just have one which immediately says this is what we do, this is who we serve, this is the benefits of using us, with some kind of clear call to action, that's going to be infinitely more effective than just having 5 which scroll through which have just a bunch of random crap on them. Second question this week is not actually submitted by somebody, but it comes out from a bunch of conversations I've been having with people this week who have started their own businesses or are thinking about starting up in businesses. And the question is, should I start a business based on my passion? Now I've got a pretty controversial answer to this because the current way of thinking is, oh, you know what, if you do what you love, then it won't feel like work. So people are all about, okay, so what do I want to do? And then I'm going to set up a business around that and then that'll make it feel really fun. My answer is actually that what you are passionate about is not a valid criteria for starting a business. If you're thinking about what you love doing and what you're really excited about, you're thinking about business in completely the wrong way. What business is really about is looking at the marketplace and saying, okay, what does the marketplace need? What do people really want? What are people looking for? What's a solution that's not being fixed? What can I do? How can I provide the most value for people? This kind of looking at yourself first and saying, what do I want to do? Reminds me of musicians, right? I was a professional drummer for a number of years and I started a business in professional drumming and it was hard work because I was doing what I loved and then I was having to go out and find people that are willing to pay for that rather than doing it the other way around and saying, okay, what do people really need help with and how can I best serve them? And most musicians really don't get through this. My friend who's still a musician often tags me in these Facebook conversations that he'll see musicians having about getting paid. It's a really touchy subject for musicians because they feel like if they practice their craft and they get really good at their craft, they should be paid really well for this. And they can't understand why the marketplace doesn't value, for example, jazz musicians who spend ages building and creating incredible skill in an area which actually has super low commercial value. If you're a jazz musician, unless you're at the very top, very difficult to make money because you're thinking about what you want to do rather than what people are willing to buy. So that's a really kind of difficult subject for people to grasp because they think, you know what, these guys are so talented, they should be paid really well, they should be compensated according to the talent. That's not how the world works. The world works by rewarding people according to the value that they provide to the marketplace. So how does this kind of relate to passions? The trouble with people who build a product or a business around their passion is they're thinking, what do I love? Right? They're not thinking, what does the marketplace love? What does the marketplace want? So this can often lead them to set up a business which really struggles because, again, they're just building everything around them, or build something that's not really particularly popular or that there's a lot of competition in. So if you're selling, for example, supplements, quite difficult to make money on that because there's lots of people who've been really driven by their love of fitness who are setting up supplement companies and there's lots of coverage around that. So actually they're not looking at, okay, what does the market need? Does the market need another protein powder? They're not really looking at that. They're really thinking about, what do I want? So these passion areas can be really competitive. And the other thing that can happen, which is what happened to me in my passion driven business, is that you start to realize that your passion for the thing has died. Right, you've turned it into a business, it's become a struggle and it's completely gone. And the thing that you love, the thing that you enjoy putting all your time into, you actually now hate and resent, which is never a good thing. So my advice is to keep business and passions completely separate. The good news is that I don't believe passions are inherent. So what you're most passionate about now doesn't necessarily have to be the thing that you're most passionate about. It's probably not the thing that you're going to be most passionate about in 5 or 10 years time. So actually I've found personally that building a business and working in an area which generates real results for people and makes people really, really happy is actually way more rewarding than focusing on me and what I like and doing something around that. So actually you find that you become passionate about whatever it is that you're working with. If you're just naturally a passionate person, your passions will shift according to what you spend your time doing. So I wouldn't be too worried about the fact that you might be going into an area which you're not that passionate about, because hey, guess what? If you can approach that business or that area with loads of passion and your competitors, they're not really passionate about it at all, that can make it for a really nice result for you. So I hope that helps, even if it's not what you might have wanted to hear. If you've got any feedback, you've got any questions or comments, or you've got some responses to this, then do stick them in the comments section or tweet me at Tim Ninja Kitchen. Anyway, don't forget to follow Exposure Ninja on Twitter, Facebook, and check out the Exposure Ninja Digital Marketing Podcast on iTunes. Until next week, see you then.